guys, welcome back to the ROH Show with Kirsty Graham. Today we're going to be talking about episode 346. Before we start though, how cute is my little chibi me up here in all of my blueness? Want to give a special shout out and thanks to Black Wolf as always for making the overlays, making them pretty. He made them blue this time, yes, and Horror Bitch with an X instead of an I on Instagram made me my little chibi me. It's my favourite thing in the whole world. But yeah, we'll get on with the wrestling that you're actually here for. But I'm just, all of this, we get a new intro last week. I want to say last week. From Andre Corbeil, and now we've got a new overlay, new little pictures. I'm here for everything going on. It's all blue. But anyway, yes, ROH. So, it started off as always. The new tagline seems to be Honour is real, or they went back to it because they stopped using it for a little while. And they went back to that one. So that was the tagline. It's Cody that's saying it now, which is absolutely fucking ironic as all shit. But anyway, first match was the opening TV match was Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis versus Coast to Coast. Coleman was on commentary instead of Colt Cabana this week, and I like Coleman on commentary. I think him and Ian work really well together. They did throughout this show. I just have a special place in my heart for Colt Cabana, and whenever he's not there now, I'm just like, but why though? I'm pretty sure he was like overseas and actually wrestling, but you know, I like my Colt Cabana, thanks. But yeah, opening match was the almost a rematch from the gauntlet match from the last show, and there's been that many shows this week and my mind has totally went blank. Can't even remember from the last show. We spoke about it, but anyway, it was the gauntlet match with the 5 tag teams. It was the rematch for that because obviously Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis took out LSG from Coast to Coast, and then Ali came out and tried his goddamn damnedest to win the tag team gauntlet match, but obviously with one person it wasn't going to happen. So it was kind of like a rematch for that, but it wasn't to go on and like become #1 contenders because the Bucks still won like the overall match. But you get what, it's a rematch. So Coast to Coast come out full speed ahead. They were having absolutely none of it. Beer City Bruiser and Malonis came out first. They were already in the ring. It was a speed versus size match, and it was unreal. The Malonis does this really nice thing, and a commentary pointed it out, and once they pointed it out, I couldn't stop noticing it, and like reverted back and went, oh yeah, that is a thing he does. Because of his size, instead of just doing like a leg drop or whatever, he uses like crossbodies and things that mean his whole weight is coming down on whatever poor unfortunate soul is under him. And they were really pointing that out. Also, Beer City Bruiser just shouldn't be able to do half of the flippy shit that he does at his size. It's incredibly impressive. There were some really nice spots in this match. It was only about 12 minutes, I think. It was a TV episode. They don't normally go any longer than like 20 anyway. And it was an opener, so it shouldn't have been like half the show. But yeah, there were some nice spots where like Brian Malonis caught, I think it was LSG, went for a crossbody and he caught him, and then Brian and then Ali went up as well and also went for a crossbody, and he just caught both of them as if it was nothing, and it was just so impressive looking. I wrote down Malonis just looks sick when he does whole body moves, and that was the point when they had pointed it out, and it's true. It just looks, you just know it hurts. There's no, even with when you're meant to give that little bit of space, like when you're doing moves to make sure you don't hurt them, there's just still no way that it doesn't hurt just a little bit. But yeah, there was a beautiful 450 from LSG onto Brian Malonis. Oh, it was just, now sometimes you see 450s and it's a 450, it's lovely, it's great, it's whatever, and then you see ones that looks as if they've just got like this speed boost off of Sonic and they just go, Oh, it was so pretty. LSG's great. Like, I can't say anymore. I love Coast to Coast as a team right now. They're just working so well together and they're on such a roll. And I'm just happy with everything that's happening. And I also like that they did protect them in the gauntlet match. Because if they were going to put the Bucks over, of course they were, then they had to somehow protect their winning streak. And by putting out LSG and only having Ali come out to the match, then it protected them because it wasn't them as a team. There was a set up and hit for the last call, but Ali broke up it was on LSG, Ali broke up the pinning attempt, and then there was this really beautiful like code breaker, but it wasn't just a normal code breaker. Ali got on and like down on his hands and knees, kind of like Matt Hardy used to do, although he still does, for Jeff to like run up off him. Ali done that, and then LSG like ran and code breakered essentially. I think it was Malonis. I want to say it was Malonis. He hit he hit a code breaker. Once they were down, they hit a coast to coast, and that was the end of the match. It was fun. It was slick. It was very fucking fast, considering there was a tag team that weighed over 800 pounds combined in that. I just think Beer City Bruiser's just great. Like, the more and more I see of him, the more I love of him. He's accurately named too. But he's just... I don't understand how he can do all of these, like, athletic moves at this size, because wrestling has drummed into me from a very young age that big guys do hard-hitting moves, little guys do all of the flippy-do stuff, and everybody in between kind of does a mix of both. But yeah, ROH don't play by those rules. Evidently, everybody does everything. So, but yeah, it was a 12-minute match. It was an opener. It was hella fun. Also, again, it keeps coast to coast when they're both out, they're both together, and they're both wrestling. It puts them on we're still winning level. And I was going to say something else, but it's completely. And that's what it was. It also shows like aggression. Like a new side of aggression, because they're usually happy, oh we're great and we're winning and we're doing all of this XYZ. It took them to a different level of no fuck with us and we'll fuck with you back. So yeah, it was great. We moved on then to a Jay Lethal promo, backstage promo. He was saying things, he was basically saying along the lines that he's lost without gold because he's so used to an ROH having gold around his waist all the time, and for so long on his title run, obviously, it was just the most beautiful and long and perfect thing ever. So apparently he spoke to ROH management. ROH management said you need to start winning because you don't just get handed opportunities in here. So Jay Lethal said that he's going to beat everybody who has recently beat him to earn back a gold. He didn't say what title, which makes me think there's so many people right now in and around the world title that I'm thinking he's either going to go for like the TV title or maybe the tag titles. Jay Lethal to me isn't a tag guy. He can do tag team matches, they're always great, but he's one of those people who he is a singles guy. Like he's one of, like he is, like it's like the Bucks, they're not singles guys, they're a tag team. You just don't want to see them doing other stuff, so I kind of hope he goes for the TV title, but we'll see. But yeah, he said he's going to go through everybody that's beat him. He's going to do as long as it takes, all of that babyface goodness that is Jay Lethal. Then we transitioned, and I think there was an ad break. Then the next promo was it was a Bucks promo, and they were just pretending that they had no clue that they were doing anything. They were like, what do you want to talk about? We've got 45 seconds. And Nick was like, well, now we've got about 30. We should probably talk about that match that we've got coming up with the Briscoes. And Matt was like haphazardly being like, oh, we're going to give you more bang for your buck. It's going to be a super kick party. But like as he was trying to do the super kick party from like the start of the theme, Nick was counting them down, going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's us. That's all we've got time for. And it was just so lovely, and I don't know why. I just don't think the Bucks can do anything wrong for me at this point. But it was just everybody else's promos were so and they were just like, don't care, can't do it. So yeah, then we went into match 2, which was advertised. Oh, a second. Sorry guys, I've got a really dry throat and I don't want to be scratchy sounding. So yeah, match 2 was the Dogs. It wasn't the Dogs. The Dogs came out. It was Lil Willy versus Jonathan Gresham. And all I have to say for this match is Lil Willy, Will Beretta, yes, like, I forget how much of a good wrestler he is because he's doing comedy stuff now, and he's great at comedy stuff. I've said week after week after week how much I'm enjoying the Dogs' whole Big Brother, Little Brother thing that they've got going on, but I genuinely forgot because there've been so many comedy spots. I was like, oh yeah, he's a really good wrestler. Like, totally forgot all about that. But yeah, Code of Honor was adhered to. Titus sat on commentary for this match. I thought he was going to be like trying to get in around it, obviously because comedy spots, but then once I seen that they were going to have like an actual wrestling match, then I liked the fact that he stepped away to allow them to do this, because you can't really have a serious wrestling match and a comedy guy on the outside trying to interact with. It just would have been a mess. So it was an actual wrestling match. It started off, like, this is when it clicked for me. I was like, oh yeah, he's really good. They started with some beautiful chain wrestling, and like, just, there was the one spot I remember from the very, very start is Willie's got Jonathan Gresham in the corner, and he's been holding on to his arm the whole time, just working over his arm, and Jonathan rolls through, but as he rolls through, he pulls, instead of breaking his arm away, Willie follows him through on the roll and gets him back into another like arm submission, and it was just so, it took me longer to explain what happened than actually watching it happen. It was the slickest, smoothest, and I was like, oh yeah, he's really good. That's why ROH hired him. But yeah, it was just reverses, holding on and bending limbs in the ways that they shouldn't go, and breaking out of holds in ways you've never seen before. It was just an absolute joy of a match. This was my favourite match of like the 3 matches that happened on the TV episode. Like, the whole time I'm watching, I keep thinking, I really want to see Brian Danielson, Red Dragon, whatever you want to call him. I really want to see Brian versus Jonathan Gresham. Don't know how we're going to make that happen, but I just want to see them chain wrestle forever. And Pete Dunne versus Brian, and Marty Cody, all of the chain wrestlers, all of them. But none of them are allowed to go to WWE if they aren't already there. We're keeping Marty and we're keeping Jonathan at least for a while. Yeah, it's mostly back and forth until a point where Willie like pulls, he like decks Jonathan essentially, but he bangs his shoulder off of the canvas, and then he keeps working over that arm. So what Jonathan does on his comeback is he starts targeting the arm as well. So it just becomes this match of who can work over the shoulder, elbow and wrist more. Like, it was, but it sounds boring when I'm describing it, and I'm very sorry, but I can't explain how much. It's one of those matches that you just get drawn right into, and before you know it, like the 15 minutes or whatever is up, and you're just like, wow. Like, it's just a story told, a really simple, sleek story with 2 wrestlers who were really, really fucking good. It was a really evenly matched match as well. Like, it was constantly like, Willie's get the upper hand, Jonathan. It was just back and forth, as I think chain wrestling for the most part should be. There is exceptions that you can work in. Like, obviously, if one person's exceptionally better in the storyline terms, then they should get most of the match. But it was just so evenly matched. The ending portion of the match, there was this, so there was a snap German into a bridging pin from Jonathan that get kicked out of, and then they work over the arm again for like a couple of seconds, and then there was a hammerlock. Do you ever look at something in wrestling and have no idea how to describe it? There was like this hammerlock moment, and then it was a roll up from Jonathan to Little Willy into this bridging over him pin. So he had Willy on his back with his legs up, obviously, to pin him, but then he like tucked his legs under his and then bridged over him with his head over his. It was the fucking coolest looking shit. And that's what 3 count, and that won them. I don't know how he would have got out of that because he was tied up like a goddamn pretzel, but it was awesome. Titus then comes off of commentary and he says, well, I guess I've got to do everything here, being the big brother. I'll sort this out. And then he gets in and attacks Jonathan Gresham. And then for some reason Motor City Machine Guns run out. And I'm never upset to see Motor City Machine Guns, but I thought there was going to be like a promo or a challenge or something because Jonathan Gresham isn't in a tag team right now. I was like, maybe they're going to be like, you can't pick on single guys or something, and issue a challenge or say something about whether they're breaking up or not. And maybe like in next week's episode they'll have a promo or something, but it just cut. Like it just went to ad break. Like Motor City Machine Guns said nothing. Like they came out, they saved Jonathan, and that was the end of it. And I was like, this is lovely and all. Go baby faces saving the other baby face. I get it. But there has to be something to follow up with it. It can't just be, look at them, they're still technically a tag team, they're still coming out as Motor City Machine Guns, but like, give me some information here, guys. Like, everything up to the point of the attack, and that was great. And then I was just really confused as to why Motor City Machine Guns were coming out. I don't know what it's about, but anyway, so yeah, really sorry. Then we go on to, it didn't even go to an ad break. It went to a Marty and Cody promo, and then it went to an ad break after that. So it just cut to Marty and Cody. I don't understand why this was placed when it was, and I'm never usually hypercritical, and this isn't something to majorly be like, I'm never watching again. Nothing that serious or to be butthurt about. It just didn't make sense, and usually ROH, like the last episode, like pay-per-view night special things were placed so strategically that like it all made sense. So for us to cut to a TV episode that just seems choppy, like, and a little bit weird, I was like, don't know what's happening here, but I've banged on about it enough. So Cody and Marty, Cody's talking and he's bigging up. He's telling the date, the town. He's like, when I won my first title reign, making Marty's title shot about him. Of course he is. And he's like he was just saying that he's like, and the greatest, the most deserving, the most talked about person is going to be getting their title shot. And then Marty's just like, yeah, Dalton, and he just butts in, and Cody like turns him away from the camera, and they have like a little hushed moment, and he's like, I'm the leader of Bullet Club, like, just go with me here, I'll make this nice and smooth, like, just trying to be like, I got this, you don't need to talk. Marty's a fantastic talker, Cody, stop it. But he then turns around with this the most fake, ungenuine smile on planet Earth, and he's like, Bullet Club's fine. Lies. It's all lies, Cody. I know it's lies, you know it's lies, Marty knows it's lies. The Bucks aren't even prepared for their shit at the start of the episode because they know it's all lies. You gone goofed. You gone fucking goofed. But anyway, so then he starts again, and he's like, I think it's in Maryland. I never wrote down the actual town, but he's like, but he's going to get his title match here, blah blah blah. And then again, Marty just shouts in, and he's like, yeah, Dalton, like, I'm going to get my title, I'm going to beat you. He's just shouting things at the camera and pointing, much like I do. and Cody's just pulling the biggest bitch face ever. And then when Marty's done, he just looks at him and goes, "Damn it, Marty," and just shakes his head and walks away. And I was like, oh, why do none of yous have any of your collective shit together tonight? Why is nobody on the same page? But it's just the contrast between the Bullet Club promos of the night versus everybody else's promos, and that's so slick and so cohesive. It adds to their story that Bullet Club is absolutely not fine, which is why I loved it so much. It's why I love the Bucks one as well, because it's usually they're on point and they've got everything together. Not tonight. It's the little details that just make me happy. So then we went to an ad break, and then we came back, and it was another really short promo actually, and it was from Soul Cal Uncensored, and they were talking about the fact that the Kingdom is in the main event in a 6-man tag against Dalton Castle and the boys, and that they're thieves, and that they don't play by the rules. They understand that the Kingdom doesn't either, but they done it first. To be fair, Christopher Daniels done it on the first night. So yeah, but basically being like, we're coming and we're getting our titles, because obviously the plan was at the pay-per-view to win, take their titles and leave, so they're livid. So then it goes back to the ring, and Shane Taylor cuts a promo about how he lived here for 8 years, and he done the same thing. He was making money on beating people up for other people, and now he's here in ROH, and he's mad that this little guy in the corner, whose name's Ryan Nova, he's like, when ROH bring in these indie, like he doesn't say indie guys, but he's like, when ROH brings in these unsigned guys and pays them for the night, that's less money in my pocket, and he's mad as fuck about it. There's then a little like snippet clip of Ryan saying that he's the real Supernova. It was a really short clip, not as short as the match though, because the bell rung and it was just a squash match, and he just threw him about like a wet paper bag. It was a sin. It was kind of sad. Commentary done this really nice thing though, where just before the bell rung, Coleman lost his pen, and by the time that the match had like happened and been complete, Coleman found his pen, and when he sat back up, you never seen any of this, but they were like audibly telling you, because Ian kept saying, you're missing it, like you're going to miss this entire thing. He's like, I'm looking for my pen. And by the time the bell rings and Shane wins, he sits back up and he's like, I found my pen. And then he's like, wait, what? How did I miss all of this? And Ian's like, I told you. It was very blink and you'll miss it, like audibly. Like it was obviously like the visual you usually get, like blink and you'll miss it. It was an audible version of it, and I quite liked it. It was funny. This is what I mean. I don't actually not like Coleman. I just really, really freaking love Colt Cabana. But yeah, we go on then to the main event, which is the Kingdom, with SoCal Uncensored 6-man tag belts, of course, wearing them, carrying them as if they're theirs. No. But yeah, versus Dalton Castle with the boys. I love Matt Taven. I don't know why I keep saying Tavern. I think it's the way I write it down. I love every time I see Matt Taven right now. I am falling more and more in love with him. It's just all working for me just now. Vinny still has the best visual, and he just keeps adding. There's now like 7 balloons. There's his axe. He's like his face paint. He's got a massive jacket with 100. He's visual. There's no mistaking who that is. Even if it was a silhouette, you'd know exactly who that is, and I am loving it right now. So it cuts to like a little promo as they're getting into the ring, and they're like, what are we going to do like when we're all wrestling tonight, because we need to protect these 6-man tag titles. And Matt was like, don't worry, I know a guy. It then cuts and out walks Shane Taylor after saying that he wasn't making enough money, and sits at the announcer's desk, not the commentary desk, but the timekeeping desk, and he sits beside the titles. And I was like, I knew that, totally knew that when you pulled the promo. But yeah, it's a nice little touch. It makes ROH feel like a living, breathing organism, where anybody can at any time can pay off Shane Taylor because he's always there looking for work. Like, it makes the whole thing feel alive, and I love the little details, like Coleman losing his pen. People lose pens all the time when they're trying to write and take notes, and like they'll just fall off a desk. It's little things that don't take away from the in-ring action but just add to it and just make it a more complete story. I very, very much love ROH. But yeah, Dalton starts off with TKO Ryan. TKO's like shouting that he's the best and whatever else, and then he shouts TKO, to which Dalton retorts with BOYS, and everybody loses their shit, and I was like, well played, sir. He still got his hand in a cast, which like seemed to play into like a lot. It does play in a lot, obviously. If you've got a broken hand, you mean well put it into angles, but I mean, like, at one point he rolls out, like he gets put out of the ring, and then you can kind of see the medic like re-putting tape round his cast, and I was like, what happened? I thought, like, if anybody knows, like, if part of the bandage or something come off, let me know, because I totally didn't see it, because it's a 6-man tag and your eyes are trying to be everywhere at once. But it started off, as I was saying, with TKO Ryan and Dalton Castle. Dalton does all of his beautiful, like, amateur wrestling stuff, gets the best of Vinny. Vinny tags in TKO. Then one of the boys tagged them selling. The boys, every time I see them wrestle, are getting just a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, and it's making me so happy to seeing them come in fresh faced and green as anything, but like just so excited to be there, to watching them learn and grow, just being on the road all the time and being with the world champion. It's just it's really nice. I'm very much enjoying their growth. The Kingdom end up getting back in control once the boys are in the ring, because Matt Tavern gets in. Once Matt gets in though, he calls out Dalton Castle because they have a match coming up at War of the Worlds, night 1, I want to say. I think War of the Worlds is over like 5 dates though, so I'm not sure. I'm sure they said night 1 though, and I think it's Wednesday coming up. Then it'll be on Honor Club, so I'll have a watch of that and let you guys know what I think. Dalton at one point goes for a bangerang on Matt Taven, and he just grabs onto like the 2 ropes at the turnbuckle and just screams no, and it's the funniest shit I've seen in a while. He was like, nope, not gonna do it. The boys saved Dalton from a 3-on-1 attack at one point. Like, the boys get put out, they all get in, they all just start beating him up after that almost bangerang moment. The boys come in, there was a double drop kick on Matt Taven. Why do I keep putting an R in there? Matt Taven, like a pub from the olden age. But yeah, double drop kick from the boys that was really well, like, both of them got up at the same time, both of them hit both of them like front, bottom, down. It was really, really well done. I'd like to think that the Bucks have been in there with them, been like, we'll show you how to do this. But yeah, so Dalton gets knocked off and has to get his hand retaped. That was the moment I was telling you about a minute ago. Then Christopher Daniels comes down like the little stage and down the steps, and he goes to take the titles, but Shane Taylor pushes him, and commentary like remind everybody that for a long ass time SoCal Uncensored were paying Shane Taylor off, and that they were almost friends. Like, that's how it kind of came across. And Christopher Daniels, like, I've paid you, I've gave you so much money, like, how dare you, where's your loyalty? And Shane Taylor's like, my loyalty is where my money's coming from, I'm paid to watch these titles. So Christopher Daniels storms off just screaming at him. And yeah, while that's happening, there is essentially a twin magic from boy 2 to boy 1. Everybody's attention goes back into the ring. Boy 1 manages to get the tag that boy 2 couldn't get. We just need to know their names. Just give them any name, just please. Anyway, so yeah, Dalton ends up getting the tag. He takes control. He does a couple of judo throws, which were beautiful. I love when Dalton Castle just throws people like, yes. And he done the spot where you get a boy and just throws him over the top rope for crossbodies. And Ian was doing his best Oprah impression. It was the best. Tavern, take a shot every time I pronounce this man's name wrong, or just add in letters. Taven hits Dalton with one of the belts, and then he gets in. The ref shouting at him, but he ends up getting in anyway. Tags in. He then hits the climax on Boy 1, who's legal at the time, gets the 3 count, and that's the win, which is nice to know that they're putting Matt Tavern essentially over before they have the match at War of the Worlds. But then the Kingdom can have a beatdown after the match, because obviously he has a match with Matt Tavern, so they have a match at War of the Worlds, and so they end up beating them down. They beat down the boys because there's no like one-on-one rules anymore. Then Taven gets up on like the middle, like he sits on the turnbuckle, and they fight, and Dalton puts up such a realistic looking struggle. They get his arm, the broken one, and put it through a chair. But Dalton fights this like he's clinging to his arm. They've got to like reposition him. They're squirming it like he's not just lying there and taking it. It just looks so realistic, and it made me really happy. But they eventually beat him down enough where he's like lying, and then they're holding him down. Matt jumps down, stomps on it, and everybody's like, and yeah, the commentary were so disgusted. They were like, this is why they think there's a conspiracy. There isn't a conspiracy. You're just jerks. You're just the worst people, and nobody wants to like reward you with anything because this is how you keep acting. It was really, really nice. It was a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it when I got home from work today. And it set up a lot of the War of the World stuff with the promos, with all of everything, with telling us where Jay's going, just having good solid matches that you can just sit and enjoy with your dinner. I just thoroughly enjoyed this episode, apart from that one Motor City Machine Guns moment that I still don't... There should have been something else. I feel that there was, and they've just cut it out, and I don't know why they did. I'm not going to keep going on about this. So War of the Worlds is coming up, guys, and as I say, I think it's over like 5 nights or a week. All of it's going to be on our club, and I'm going to watch it all anyway. But what I want to know is, do you want me to do like a roundup of the best and like most important moments? So obviously Marty's got a match coming up with Dalton, so does Matt Tavern. Then there's the Briscoes and the Bucks match. There's a few other really like tasty ones, but they're all on different nights. So do you want me just to kind of guess what, like, in fact, whatever specific matches you want me to like cover from War of the Worlds, like either leave them down below on the Wrestling with Wrestling website comment section, or hit me up on Twitter and tell me what matches you want me to give my opinions on, because I don't think anybody's showing up for me to do 5 nights of War of the Worlds or doing a 15-hour podcast talking about all of it. So yeah, let me know which ones you specifically want me to do, and I'll do them. But yeah, that's all I have for this week, guys. Like, send some love to everybody for the lovely new everything that's going on up here and round about. It's all blue. It's my favourite. But yeah, hit me up, talk to me about ROH, tell me what you think about everything going on, tell me what you want me to watch. And with that being said, guys, I'm Kirsty, and yeah, check me out, wrestlingwithwrestling.com. some YouTube stuff will be coming sooner or later. But yeah, for now, wrestlingwrestling.com and Twitter up there. Come talk to me about wrestling stuff. I usually rant on there while I'm live watching things. But yeah, I will speak to you guys later. Bye!